ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL,
Welcome to another night of ESL Challenger League Season 51 here in North America. We've got Cup number 2 continuing today. I am JRT, joined by Exner. We have an interesting matchup for you tonight, don't we, Exner?
Yeah, that we do. Looking forward to seeing how Cup number 2 goes down in North America. Should be a fun one, as you highlighted, as we are rocking in the lower bracket currently for our matchup of the day there. As you can see, it's Lag going up against this F5 squad. For me, it's definitely excited to see what Lag's bringing to the table here. Really interested to see what they have in store for us in a cup that I think is full of opportunities for any of these teams that can make a deep run.
No, I do agree with you. And I mean, if you look at the field right now, you don't have M80, you don't have NRG and teams like that, so it's actually a good opportunity to take some of this prize pool that you see on your screen as well. Like 8,000 for first, 4,000 for second, 2K for third, and basically if you finish between first and sixth, you're good to go. And I believe that if you look at these teams now, they're all going to finish within this range. The ones that remain, and that's we'll see them on the bracket right now. You've got Sportsbet Expert and Chicken Coop Esports moving on towards that upper final, and one of those will end up in the grand final. And then we'll take a look at the lower bracket, and you're going to see that we got Life's a Game, or Lag Gaming, right here up against F5, which is what we're covering, and simultaneously Aether versus Phoenix is happening on the other side of the bracket. So overall, you're looking at these teams, they're all teams that are sitting outside the top 5, let's say, in North America. So very, very good opportunity for them.
Yeah, no question about it here. Big opportunity. As you highlighted here, there's going to be some missing teams that are coming through in terms of the level of competition. For a lot of the best teams in North America, I guess it's kind of ramping up towards major qualification time. So you're playing all the lands, getting all that experience, as opposed to getting the online matchups. So again, a clear path. And for me, and from what we've seen in the past here, so that Lag can do some serious damage here. This is a team that, in my opinion, out of the level of competition that we're seeing left, I think is most situated to claim that first place prize, but they find themselves in the lower bracket. And last time I saw this roster, they were still playing with Wolf, and he was still looking incredibly clean.
Yeah.
But they've since brought in Cryptic. Not sure what the story is in terms of calling here for him, whether that's him picking up the mantle or if that's DJ sticking onto it and he can go back to those aggressive rifle roles that used to make him, a very clear star when he was still emerging into the top levels of ECL.
Yes.
It'd be really interesting to see what he could bring to the table if he's back in that department.
No, I do agree, and if you look at the results for them as of late, it's been pretty good. They got 2-0 against Chicken Coop, 2-1 Wantagoons, 2-0 Sakura. This is the type of results they've been getting even, when Wolf was still on the roster. And then you look against Sportsbet Expert, that was the tough one, losing 1-2. But I feel like if they do get a rematch there, they might come out on top. So yeah, I have a lot of questions as to why Wolf is no longer part of the squad. It's the second time we've seen him cut when he's one of the top performers on a team. So, I'd love to get some answers from the players as to what is happening in that department. But I agree with you. I think Cryptic can be a very potent piece. He's also a very strong IGL, but I'm sure he's happy to take a back seat and just focus on the rifling for once. Well, let's switch gears now, though, and talk about this other squad here of F5. We've got some names that are familiar. Kermi and Cameron. We have 2 Camerons today, so that's going to be interesting. But
oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I don't even know what we can do to distinguish them. This is going to be weird.
They're spelled the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
It's a K and a C.
But wow, that's.
We can just go by
You
like
guys.
camera with a K and camera with a C.
We'll call one C and one K.
Yeah, that maybe we could just do that. Oh man, but how you feel with this?
Hilarious.
How you feel with this squad?
I mean, as you said, there's some familiar pieces for me. Like, again, seeing a lot of what Kermit can do. Love, when he's able to play out on land and to catch some of him. He's a pretty cool and fun piece to see on land. I just haven't really seen a lot of him at this level of competition. It's been a long time since I've actually seen him at an ECL level. And so it's going to be pretty fun to watch him play out here after a little bit of a gap in terms of the opportunities. He was on that Vireo Pro roster when he first made big strides, and that Carry Esports team that was going on back in the day. So
wow,
that was like again kind of a blast from the past for me. But he's back in the server here for ECL competition, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if he can keep up. And of course, for F5, this is going to be a really good opportunity to see how you can deal with a team that's, I think, super promising when it comes down to gatekeeping a lot of these rosters. If F5 can handle lag, then again, they can not only take advantage here in the lower bracket, but I think if you can beat lag in this bracket, you can definitely handle anyone in this bracket.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lag is my favorite as well. I think you were leaning to that earlier on, and I agree. This is the team that I expect to take it all. The only one that stands in their way is SBE, and they did beat them already. But that's the grand final that I envision at this stage. And if you look at the map stats, which we got on your screen right now, it's not a pretty picture that we're painting for F5. It's a newer team, and I think that as is usually the problem for newer teams, the map pool isn't that deep. They have one or two strong maps, and one of them is Mirage. And then after that, you probably look at Overpass, and then there's nothing else. So I think that's a big problem against a team like Lag that does have a lot of reps across the board and has been working on deepening their map pool. I mean, overall, on the surface of it, it feels like a mismatch to me. As you look at the stats here, it's absurdly good for them. They've got Inferno, they've got Dust 2, Nuke, Ancient, and even Mirage is decent. So, you're kind of neutralizing the one strength on the side of F5, and you've got all these other maps that are going so well for you.
You're going to amplify the challenge here with that map pool. You're exactly right there. It's what's going to make this matchup that much more tricky here for the F5 underdog squad trying to pull things together. Strong suits working in favor of Lag here. And we'll get to take a look at that veto at the gates. Inferno going to stick with the ban here early for them. Had some tough track records on it, and they're willing to float a potential Anubis just in case. I don't think Lag is going to pick into that, so maybe they're feeling confident in floating that here for themselves and trying to prioritize what I would say again is a very promising Inferno for the side of Lag, especially kind of amplified with Cryptic and any sort of insight that he can provide for his squad. I think he's a really good caller when it comes to that map.
I'm surprised they're keeping Mirage in play here. If I'm like, I guess they really don't want to play Overpass. It is kind of their perma, so I get it. They played it 3 times, they've lost every single time, so I guess they want to get that out of the picture. They've had more success in Mirage, but you knew that Mirage pick was coming through no matter what for F5. Dust 2 afterwards, also really good for Lag. I don't expect Dust 2 to be anything but Lag dominating because it's 0-3 on the side of F5 against worse competition. So, and you look at Lag, we already saw it, 11-2 on the map. I guess Ancient going to be banned here. I'm wondering what's going to be left over. What do we got? What is Lag going to get out of play? I imagine they want to play probably Ancient, so I'm thinking a Nuke ban. Oh, excuse me. Ancient was already banned, so I was going to say Anubis, but Anubis is going to be banned, and it's going to be a Nuke that is going to come through. So, yeah, this is a pretty favorable veto for Lag.
Yeah, I mean, as we were kind of expecting here, this veto really looking promising in favor of their department here, just given the kind of luxuries of the opportunities here in the map pool advantage that they have. But you look at, the recent history here, Dust 2 is going to be a big challenge for them. There's no question about it. But I'm happy to see at least they got the Inferno ban going at some point there. And they still get to avoid Anubis as the dust settles. But I think the ultimate test here, because I do feel like this Lag Squad has had their struggles is, can they get away with a Mirage? If F5 are able to look strong on their map pick, they can try and set the tone and set the tempo. It'll be a really good sign. The T sides for Lag are what have been pretty horrific for them. They've had really strong defensive halves and then can't back it up with T sides. So again, maybe you could take a step in the right direction when it comes down to what Cryptic can provide for this team. You're hoping that he can be a bit of a solution to that problem.
No, I do agree. And he might be. He's actually, I think, a pretty decent Mirage player overall, or was in his past teams.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's definitely a bonus for them. I agree with you. That T side is looking mighty awful. I mean, how do you... 4 maps played. I know it's not a big sample size, but like 72.5% win percentage on CT side and a 28.6 T round win percentage. It's pretty bad on that side. However... I also want to point out, F5 are beating teams that are below Lag by a large margin. Mirage, FlyQuest Red, Mythic, Overnight, and Wanted Goons. So, for me, it's up to F5 to prove that they belong here on this map. And already in this pistol round, Cole, it's not looking great. DJ and Sandman are going to get a couple. Make that 3 combined, and then Kirby gets a response, but it's just Kirby and Signal remaining.
Yeah, that is a... great kickoff here. A little bit of a statement being made as Lag lock it down. Double up coming through from Sandman and follow-up frag coming through from DJ to completely stall out this play. They're going to push his way up in towards A main. He's got the kit and smoke. How far does he want to go? He's going to take the off angle. Oh, that's a good one. Instant dismissal. And the follow-up. 2 bullets out of Cryptic's gun. He doesn't have to worry about the reload. He's rocking his signature gut knife. And they're rocking a pistol here. And again, the luxury of this map getting picked into you is that at least you get to start on that CT side.
Yeah.
And they win the pistol to back it up. So, great kickoff for them.
Absolutely. Now they'll be able to get the M4s up immediately. 3 A1Ss. An A4 and an MP9, and on the side of F5, they do not want to force. They didn't get the bomb plant. We do see a lot of teams leaning into a force buy on T side now, regardless of a plant, but that's not going to be the case here. For F5, Cameron with a K is going to only get 1, and he gets traded out by Cameron with a C. All right, it's already begun. Cryptic is going to get a headshot there. Trading back and forth. This isn't bad, given what they walked into the round with, just Glocks. They get 2 kills. Eventually, Cryptic shuts it down with a nice 4K, but bomb plant and a couple of kills is honestly decent.
That's what you'd hope to be able to get out of a pretty much nothing investment right there for yourselves. Being able to really put the pressure on, apply the damage. As you said, you will take that for sure. Just a little pull through here coming out. And the trades and bomb plant provide you a decent little luxury here rolling. I'll see what they can bring into the mix here afterwards when the guns do come out.
Indeed. F5 have got a lot to prove, I'd say, in this series. They're the ones we're looking towards. We already know how potent Lag is, how good they've been on their rise up. Even with the change, Cryptic coming in to replace Wolf, I still feel like this team is very good. And we're very positive on Cryptic in general. I think mostly on the IGL side, but he's also been a very potent rifler, even when he was calling. So I don't know how much of a disadvantage that'll be for them moving forward, if any at all. Consi's going to hit the first onto Signal. That's a great way to open up the round. A little risky for Cameron here, right up top of the ramp. As the smoke is going to fade, he'll be in trouble potentially. We'll see. He decides to go into it instead. Cameron's probably dead here. You have to imagine, yeah. Knight's going to get that, but Cryptic takes the initiative towards Connector and finds the other Cameron over on F5.
Particularly to keep things contained here. Slowing down the approach as much as possible. Doing a good job of keeping that man advantage alive. very passive position for Consti, though. Not watching the so much of anything here from this position. Can't quite see what's around that corner, but Molly might give it away. Are they going to plant here exposed to CT? Ichi goes down. They're just trying to make sure there's no one in that position, but again, just early alarm bells are ringing. They allow for the bomb plant to come through, and Consti not pulling the trigger just yet on the peak. Finally turns the corner.
Bomb taken away. Kermie's really low. There's the nade. Oh, it doesn't connect with Kermie, and now a swing around by him, but DJ will take care of it. Knight, that's his second. Needs 2 more. Molly's out. Tosses that through, but he misses the throw, Cole. It just had to go on the bomb, and then Consti finishes him off, puts him out of his misery. That is super unfortunate. I think there was a smoke thrown on the bomb anyway, so the Molotov wouldn't have done anything, but at least it would have been nice to see him toss it in the right direction.
Yeah, Hop was also watching a pretty nasty angle, so I don't know if it would have changed the tides, but a big victory there for Lag. They get to breathe a sigh of relief. Knight in the chaos has to fight through the flames there. There was no good options for him. Tough stuff. See if they can bounce back. Get another decent buy going with the techs. Nice headshot from DJ, looking sharp as can be. Cryptic maybe doesn't see the player right underneath him, and yeah, that actually cost DJ his life. So a bit of an oversight, but I guess it doesn't really matter here. They're coming back quickly into the round, keeping things contained.
Yeah, they're not struggling at all here. Consti's hitting his shots. Cryptic is as well. That's his 9th already, and there's Consti ringing true with a 2K, his first multi-kill of the map. They haven't really required it of him. And we go into round number 5. Lag have not looked pressed really at all. F5 need to put up more of a fight here, and this is the round they got to do it in.
No question. Gonna have to bring in that as soon as possible. See what they have in store. Got an op out into the mix for Bones, trying to get him rolling. Some decent damage in some prior rounds, but mid control being really hard fought for by the CT side in the early round. Jump spotting for Sandman could be a little bit risky, but I think he spotted out the opper and avoids any shots or any damage being done on his anchoring.
Patient approach here for F5. Smoke's going to get tossed in for mid. That's mid window. Flashbang as well. Lag are pretty passive, honestly. There's a Molotov that's thrown through, excuse me, an incendiary. Sandman is looking in from the outside of mid window. That Molotov's not great. It's not going to disrupt Sandman really at all, so he gets to stay in this corner. Cameron on F5 will be moving in. Looks like F5 want to finish A, which isn't a bad idea. Sandman kind of misses the shots, but then connects onto Kermie. Cameron takes care of his counterpart on the other side, and it's a 5v3.
Look there, and they're not losing anybody in this round whatsoever. A lights out hold brought together there. Without question. No hesitation there. Clean conversion. So what you're after for the side of Lag, been needing one of those. A couple scrappy rounds back and forth, but that one is one that you'll be happy to lock on down. And a much needed timeout to slow down the momentum here.
Yeah, it's just not the look you want to see on a round where you brought guns into it, right? Like, not a single frag. Lag dominating you at every turn. Gonna go for a hero AK here. And you got 3 techs and a deagle to round things out. Maybe a faster play. Try to get the element of surprise. Keep it simple. Especially with these techs. It's not happening though. You have a peek from Cameron with the AK towards window. Excuse me, towards B site from apartments. But outside of that, nothing. Oh my god. Nothing much. What a nade. Kermie and Knight are just sitting there, minding their own business in underpass, and a nade lands at their feet and does almost 100 damage combined. Jeez. Look at this. Little creepy. DJ's creeping forward. It's not creepy, guys. Promise. Cameron gonna take care of one onto Kermie. And it is already a 5v4.
They're going to punch here. On their way through there, and Consti just continuing to provide impact here with his AWP. Knight might be able to catch a timing, but that's not going to be the case. They're too aware. Nobody falling flat here. Handling business. DJ will close out the last kill. And that's what you're after here. Trying to assert your dominance. And Lag are doing just that here. Don't have to worry about a T side if you can keep this up. Even with the pretty low win percentage that they've got going, if you don't hesitate and you build up a foundation like this, you're not going to be concerned with that at all. 5 used one timeout already. Not going to call in a second one just yet.
This is looking really good for Lag. How many deaths do they have? What is that? 7 combined in 6 rounds? That's crazy. Well, let's see if it keeps up. Guns are out. Knight working his way up, and he's already dead. I mean, they are ready at every single turn. Cryptic, the instant headshot. There's Consti striking. I mean, that's just a bit careless. You gotta have that smoke up if you're gonna cross over. Cameron's dead as well. Cameron killing Cameron. It's happened so often. It's like the worst two players to kill each other. Yeah. Oh my god. Bones and Signal, the last 2 available. And Bones is probably dead shortly. Yes, he is. Cameron gonna take care of that as well. Signal, the last one available.
I'm not going to get anyone this next gun run. As you said, definitely back that. It was a little careless on the approach up the catwalk without a connector smoke. Like, that's got to be something. That's got to be a part of your protocol, surely.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't present, unfortunately. It cost you big time. They might get a kill. Signal going to find a frag and maybe a bomb plant. No one really in a position there. It's big timing landed by him. Try and create a little bit of leverage. Take it away, though. 1v5 isn't going to happen. There's been a 1v5 too recently. Unfortunately for Signal's chances, so... Lag going to close it out. And take 7-0. Only a single player dropping in that last round.
Yeah, this is... At this point, maybe not exactly what we expected, because I thought F5 might be able to get a few rounds here. On this T side, but Lag are that strong, and this is why they're our favorites to take everything here in this specific cup, because they were able to compete, you know, with the tougher opponents in North America. Wildcard at the time in February, I think that's the new roster. They beat them 2-1, which is pretty good as well. Voca was not as competitive, but Boss winning that one. Wildcard, a tough loss, 0-2, but they're a team that's like on the cusp of breaking into the top 5 in my mind versus F5, who are not, unfortunately. But in this round, perhaps they're going to get it. Kermie doing the work. I shouldn't talk too down about them. Consti's going to get 1 back. He's going to need more than that, and he won't get it. Wow. What a revival here from F5. Sandman, the last one available, and he's tagged down to 19, Cole.
Tough stuff to keep on running. at that brick wall there, but able to eventually make the breakthrough. And Sandman, I think, going to try and play some exits. There isn't a lot to lose in terms of the economy, but
The AK
does have a full belt of utility and the AK, which is quite a bit of money over the grand scheme of things. Something you would like to keep in store long term.
All right.
Find an exit for his troubles. And is going to back away just about. Gets cut off, though. Won't be able to make it fully around the corner. And at least no one holding on to their weaponry. But most importantly, it is F5 on the board here.
And I mean, what F5 did there is what I said they needed to do earlier. They simplified things. They went for a straight call, an off-spawn call, and it worked, right? They caught lag getting too aggressive in towards the ramp, 2 instant frags, and then just stormed on towards A. Like, if you're going to have a chance at coming out with wins, those are the types of calls you have to make sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, at least to keep lag from getting too comfortable and stabilized on their defense.
I feel like a big confidence builder for them as well. Being able to lock that one down for themselves. We'll see what they can make of it. They can continue to get those simple yet effective play calls going in towards this A-bomb site. Cameron in the window, Cryptic aware of it though. Just have to catch him off guard. Now trying to make a move in towards A, but Kermie's being slowed down, and Cryptic just locks himself down. A multi will be found out by the Palace player, but there's just too much resistance past the point. Not going to be able to get the job done again. This time A is on lockdown.
Wow, that's a huge shutdown from lag. You just go right back to the way it was before, and there's another timeout called by F5. Their second being tossed out there. So they're like, oh, we just got around, and then we try to do a similar type of call, maybe a little more delayed than previous, and it just does not work at all. Like, completely rebuffed. So we go into the 10th round of play, and Lag are very much looking like a team that could go up 11-1 or 10-2 at this stage.
Without a doubt. Looking at their in pole position. See if they can keep this run of form. After the back of the timeouts, what sort of well do we get to see F5 go back to? Also going to HE the smoke. Takes a chunk of damage for it. And doesn't get any contact. No one giving him a duel, no one giving him an angle to fight off of.
There you go. Connector smoke this time as they make their approach towards B. This isn't bad on the approach. They need to get some kills, though. Okay, trade is in. They need a reply. They can't get it. That's the one they have to win, and they don't do it. Now it's probably just going to be a blowout in terms of lag in the round, and it is. Consti the 3K, Sandman with 2, a full house amongst them, and a 9-1 scoreline as a result. And, I mean, if you're F5, you're just forced into the finish line at this stage. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Maybe they want to go for full-on weaponry and just go for a Hero Galil here, but you're just watching them kind of get torn apart on the approach, and it's not going to be... I feel like it's not going to be AKs or anything that's going to get them a win. It's going to be strategies. It's going to be calling that will give them the advantage, but they're still going to be conservative with their money. I don't mind it. I just felt like they had enough to justify going all in with the $3,400 loss bonus and maybe a bomb plant helping them. Look at that nade again.
Just brilliant damage here, and the spray down to follow it up. Trying to catch him on a reload. That is the shot you needed to at least have a chance in this one. Deal with the anchoring presence. Now you got a Galil in the post. So Digix is punched in just in time. HE doesn't fully complete the mission, and now Kermie finds a follow-up frag here. Taking the headshot angle. Molly missed. Was, I think, intended for Van, but doesn't flush him out. The op shot will. Hanging on a really tight corner, though. The trade's looking available, and somehow they just sustain the duels there. Signal and Bones, unfortunately, I think just out of weaponry right there, really.
They just overloaded them. I think that was a good call from Lag. Just said, guys, let's send everyone out there, give them too many targets, and then take care of it. But that's still a nice approach, nice entry from F5, great shots, and a bomb plant, which will bolster their buy-up. So I guess they did make the correct choice in going for that half buy with a hero rifle. 4 AKs and the AWP coming through. Util's not full, but it's more than it would have been without that bomb plant. Cryptic gets an opener immediately onto Bones, keeps spamming through. Nade goes out, it'll do some damage, and okay, DJ loses the fight towards mid. He does get Cameron down to 28 HP, though. Now Sandman's having a peek, having a look, seeing what he can find. But Cameron's managed to slip through back into underpass. That's an interesting spot for him to hold, given that he was last seen towards top mid. How much will that matter is another question, because I think the execute's going to come through towards A here, Cole.
Gonna try and make that work. Very committed position for Cameron, but still a bit of an unknown quantity. As the other Cameron makes his way through underpass. And he's caught by Sandman instantly. Now they're going to queue up for a aggression signal. It's going to clear it, but not so effective. And Cameron is going to close out this round here with a little help from Sandman. It ends up being an 11-1 scoreline here for Lag. A dominant affair on their defense.
All right, we're back into it here. Getting ready for the second half of action between Lag and F5, and Lag just absolutely dominated Cole 11-1. Heading into the second half, we talked about their concerns or issues with their T side, but with that big of a lead and the way they're playing, I don't know if those stats will matter much. Oh, nice trades. Oh.
Knight looking to close things out and deliver here. Smoke goes down and towards A main. And it's going to draw this one out here. Has plenty of time to move around, but Knight, as the smoke fades away, is also getting a bit inquisitive. The move through Palace here, they're going to kind of switch positions at this point.
Oh, wow.
And Knight starting to realize that DJ is moving on this play. There's no armor for DJ either, and they're going to take a very advantageous angle onto DJ.
DJ has a smoke as well, right? Like, so he can toss this down onto the bomb and grab it and maybe try to run it B. But with this much time left, I don't know if he'll have that luxury. So he might just go for the straight fight. The dualies have the edge, and Knight will win the round for his squad. F5 showing some signs of life on the pistol round thanks to Knight's 4K.
Just massive work here being done by Knight, holding things together for his squad and able to pull through at a crucial crossroads, holding down the line towards A main. 4K required. He's able to bring home the heroics. Great look here for the CT side to at least lift off with something. See if they can continue to compound the opportunities. It is going to be a force buy, though, interestingly enough. Getting pretty aggressive here with the purchase. Gonna make do. Molly goes down, an instant dismissal here. Smoke for the flames, but look at the damage that's already done. This is going to be a tricky one here as Knight find the multi-kill, and the last two players trying to make something happen. There's just not enough guns here in the tank, not enough players left, and Kermit close things down on a threat angle. We'll seal things up.
Pretty straightforward anti-force buy there for F5. Now Lag just going to have to save and wait for the guns to come out. I think that's going to be the true test for F5 anyway, but it's good to see them at least get the pistol and the conversion afterwards. Nice shutdown. Opportunity was there if Sandman can connect, but he doesn't. And you see F5 will probably get another straightforward round unless these Deagles become really threatening. Sandman, DJ, and Cryptic rocking those, all very potent with that Deagle. That's going to take a lot of nice shots. Very quickly strung together without a response from F5. Can they do it is the question. Well, yes, they can, at least on the first. Cryptic gonna get Cameron, and Sandman finds signal. Oh no! Might be happening here. Knight does manage to get one back. He has been, honestly, the catalyst of success here for F5 in the early goings of this half. Bones does get Cameron. And then Knight, I mean, trades it right back, but Cryptic's continuing, Sandman's continuing to connect with the Deagle! Consti, drive-by shot to the head of Knight, and now it's going to be Sandman against Kermit. Sandman already getting two with the Deagle. Can he get one more and get the surprising 12th round victory right here? No, he can't! Kermit will shut him down, but that's way too close for comfort for F5.
Just jiggling out there, hoping for that last little bit. Won't be able to find it just yet. And a much needed conversion there, no matter how scrappy. We'll get the job done here. Bit of a relief that they close it out, put it up to 4, but that wasn't a lot invested in. They managed to really do some damage there. Pressure on. As they look to make it happened on the gun rounds. Can they simplify the matter, make it easy on themselves?
Well, if Cryptic keeps getting openers like that, probably. Cameron goes out alone without much spacing there for the trade, so that's a bit concerning if you're Lag. Now Consti will get signaled, who oversteps a little bit. Can't blame him for taking the risk. You have to do that when you're the underdog, but it doesn't work out for him. And the man advantage is now restored for Lag. And look, they're trying to collapse onto mid right now. I don't necessarily mind it, but DJ wins the fight. Trade is there, but all this space on A is free for the taking. And Cryptic's in a perfect spot from underpass. Although he does get traded, information's there. They can just look towards connector and finish this one off. They've also got the util to back them up. Molotov goes in, smoke as well. Couple of flashes there. Kirby runs right through it. Not a bad idea. Ooh, but the reload at a terrible moment. He tries to fall back, goes down to 29 HP. This might already be done in terms of the round for F5.
Going to be a massive difficulty here trying to pull this one together. And just waiting out the timer a little bit before he moves, before he jumps. What is he waiting for here? Smoking a kit available. Gonna get caught. Walking out in the open. And Lag finally gonna claim their 12th. And now you're gonna feel the full weight of those Deagle kills.
Yep.
Even though it wasn't a round converted. It is a lot of damage done. And it's gonna leave you with MP9s and Scouts as your best weapons to try and survive.
Not a great situation here for F5. Especially considering how much stronger Lag have been mechanically than them. Yeah, MP7, 2 MP9s, a Deagle, and a 5.7. It's always possible. Never count a team out, even in these types of rounds. But it just feels like Lag got this. Let's see what Knight can do. He's been pretty strong. 14 frags on his squad. There was some util, keeps them at bay, has Cat under control. Nade goes out, does some damage, so good job from Knight to at least push back Lag for the time being.
Chip away as much as possible here.
Ooh.
Now inside the smoke. Bumping into him here. Does Cameron realize?
I think he knows.
I think he's starting to paint the picture.
What?
Oh my god,
What's
but he
happening?
doesn't. Gets Deagle down. Bones will find a kill with the MAC-10 scooped up. And it's a 2v4 now, and the flank gonna simplify the matters. They know B side is lost, but they know they have this round in the palm of their hands.
Just careless. Careless stuff from Lag. We talked about F5 making a mistake, not smoking out connector previously, but Lag are just walking into smokes, not being cautious about their approach, getting overconfident in connector. Yeah. Sandman. Is he going to try this still? Well, he's dead, so it doesn't matter. Cameron gets the headshot, and F5 are trying to claw their way back into this half with a 5th round. And not just the half, the match itself.
They can keep things contained here. Love to keep up. Trying to make this comeback, make them work before they hop into this next map of play. They're going to try to do so here with an A-hold. Signal playing well off the back of this triple box. Will be leveled out eventually, but not allowing for CT to be run over. Is Cameron. Bomb scooped up, but a bomb plant going to be tricky. Take a different approach here. Constantly going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, but he's so capable, especially now that his teammate's down, though. It's all on his shoulders. No head armor, just the AK in hand, and now smoked off. A smoke can also land on top of the bomb. First initial tap, all the crosshairs tuned in. He's not biting, though. Hoping for a wall bang. Spam coming through. Return just confirms his position, and no further damage done there. Clean connection from Kirby jumping up and closing things down.
Still in a round where we didn't expect much from Lag. They get a bomb plant, they get a couple of kills, they keep the side of F5 a little honest there, although there'll still be plenty of money for them to buy up. Yeah. F5 showing us some flashes here. Only more than that for them to get into overtime. AKs are back out for everyone on lag, and I imagine if they take a proper approach here, they should be fine to close it out. I say that, but you really do never know.
Still somewhat up in the air here. I think you're up for a bit of an execute. Taking a bit of contact here towards the top and middle, and DJ gonna eat an HE before he can even make the move. But this is that A play they're hoping to get away with. No flash for the operate CT. Molly for the top of stairs, but beforehand Cameron just swings, and of course it's on the other Cameron. Friendly fire.
Yeah.
You gotta play in the exact same positions here, stretching out towards the middle. Though Cryptic and DJ take a positive trade there, but eventually it's held together. And now it's all on the shoulders of Sandman here. Bomb has to be scooped up in A main, but there's time to do so, and maybe time for a plant as well. 2 flashes, and he gets himself tucked in. But can he find himself a good position or comfort in this round as Knight and Kearney are both on the move and out in the open? It's a tough fight that Sandman won't be able to win. 7 rounds now for the T side or CT side. Trying to get a little bit more comfortable here.
Oh boy. I mean, look, we talked about lag struggling on T side, and yeah, they're not doing great. It's they were up 11-1 at the half. They only have 1 round so far. They've had a couple of gun rounds to try and close it out. The gun round's looking less effective than their ecos. And now they're going to call a timeout. Good job by F5. I mean, it goes without saying that Mirage has to be a win for them if they want a chance at this series. Just because of how good lag are on Dust 2. You might look at Dust 2 and say, well, F5 have been competitive there. No. Like, lag are so very good on that map. The only teams that give them trouble are top 5 teams, like Voca and, well, I don't know if SB is not a top 5 team, but they're also, on the same level as lag. And,
right.
Yeah, sorry. I just have to clear my throat there, but yeah.
No, it's absolutely true. Yeah, they're going to need every chance they can get. Try and capitalize and make good on this approach here for themselves. And again, making them work for Mirage at this point, kind of getting into that conversation to do more than just make them work. They've got themselves primed and ready to go to really force the issue. We'll see what they can make happen. Another gun round in order, though. You brought into the mix.
I just feel like lag are too spread out on their executes, and a lot of individual plays without any type of trade available. Might see that happen again here. This DJ's going up cat. Cryptic's looking towards connector. So Cryptic's on the lurk. And DJ is kind of looking around there, but it's going to go B. Cryptic was hoping to get cutoffs, but that's might not even happen at all. Either way, let's see if they can just win the fight on B. And yes, DJ gets 2. Knight and Kermie gone. This could be it. And Cryptic does catch a rotation in the end. His patience pays off. 5v2 for lag. Bones and Cameron trying, but try as they might. There goes Cameron. And Bones may be soon to follow. He is. Lag will eventually get that 13th and take it 13-7.
Yeah, job well done there from Lag. I think doing themselves a lot of favors by dominating the first half.
Yeah.
Because it does get a little tricky in the second. And see some of the struggles that we talked about with their T side. But all they needed was a little bit of impact. And as you said, a little bit more grouping up to get the execute on home that they required to seal the deal. And they end up making good on it here. So Mirage, the opening map. And it's going in favor of Lag. Really does some favors here now that Dust 2 is around the corner here. Very dominant map for them. A map that you also have struggles on for F5. So tricky task here for sure.
No, absolutely. It's going to be very difficult. Lag are going on to a map that they love to play on, and F5, it's the opposite, sitting at 0-3. However, there have been some close engagements for F5, and overtime against Mirage, Outfit 49, 24 rounds, 11-13 loss there. So there's some hope. But given the firepower that Lag have shown here on a map that they're actually not as comfortable on, I don't know. It's going to be super difficult for F5. We'll see if they can do it, though, after this break. All right, we're back here with this Lag versus F5 matchup here in the lower bracket of ESL Challenger League Season 51. We're down to the last 6 teams, and after today, we'll be down to the last 4. The question is, which of those teams will move forward? Will it be Lag or F5, at least in this one, to advance? Right now, it's looking like Lag, though, Cole.
Yeah, that it is here. Big statement being made in the opening stages here. A very clean first half of Mirage, dominance on the defense coming through there from them, and now you get to look forward to a pretty exciting Dust 2 for yourselves. You're going to be excited about that one if you're on the side of Lag to try and seal the deal. You're able to do so much damage in that last map of Mirage. Even the closing statement there coming through relatively clean, so we'll see what they can make of it here in the return, but for the most part, the pressure going to be put on to the side of F5 to fight on in their campaign throughout this this run that they've tried to make for themselves in this lower bracket.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just looking at the other matchup that's happening, it's Aether versus Outfit 49. That one, let's see what the scoreline is there. It's actually still on map number 1, 12-10 for Outfit 49. As expected, that one looked like it would be a very close affair. So still not even certain who's going to get that first map, and even if it's Aether or at 49, I'm expecting that one to actually go 3 to determine a winner. But right here, we're going to see if it's only going to take 2. We'll look at the win rates again on the side of Lag. 85% on Dust 2. It is their best map in terms of win rate. I would say their overall best map, though, is Inferno. 18 times they've played it over the last 3 months and just look very strong under almost every circumstance. So, yeah. And then on the other side for F5, we already talked about it. Their map pool is not that deep. You have Dust 2, 0-3, Dust 2 and Inferno, 0-3. So there was really no good playground for them up against Lag. You ban Inferno or you ban Dust 2. One way or another, you're going to have to play one of those.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
And, they end up finding themselves here having to play up against Dust 2. That is kind of why that opening map was really important for them to try and get down range here. Thinking about Mirage, right? Because Dust 2 is going to be a lot more tricky to work off of when it comes down to it. You're going to have to bring in a level of success that you haven't quite been able to capture for yourself so far. CT sides, sub 50, and the T sides get a little bit worse for them on the side of F5. So either way, you chop it up, it's going to be Lag playing to their strength here, and also getting the advantage of getting kind of a punish pick in that department as well.
We're just looking at this head-to-head, Cryptic and Cameron. Cryptic looked incredible, by the way, in that first map of play. Was the top frag, and he looked as comfortable as Wolf had previously on this roster, which is a good sign. But you look at the head-to-head stats coming into it, between himself and Cameron, actually a bit lower in pretty much every single category except for trading, which is 70.7%, or kills, assists, and trades. But we're going to jump into the action here. I guess my point is that I think Cryptic overall is the stronger piece in that head-to-head.
Oh yeah, no question about it here. They're already kind of reaping some of the benefits. I feel like of him on a new roster, it's a guy that kind of has been playing with the same core since the Noun days.
Yeah.
It hasn't really seen much of a difference in teammates and things of that nature. So getting an opportunity to play with a new squad is a really interesting prospect, and having to deal with that, he's taking it well so far, it seems. Looking to do so in a 2-0. But a great flash play towards the long side. Looking to get another CT pistol for the Troubles. So far, so good as they continue to apply the damage.
Okay.
Another big round coming through from Knight. Another 4K from Knight on the pistol.
Knight's impressing me, honestly. Of all the players here, he's the one that has been the best mechanically, which I didn't necessarily expect. I didn't really know who was going to pop off for this squad, because you've got Cameron, Kermie, Bones, and Knight all hovering around that 1 rating mark. But Knight, 2 4Ks, like you said, getting pretty pumped up there, shaking his crosshair around after getting that 4K, as he should. Lag going into this round, not forcing up, but they do have the Hero Scout purchased up, which we often see on Dust 2 just because there are so many long-range angles.
Make out of the Scout. Constantly going to be wielding it. Trying to do as much damage here as possible. And eager to find a couple of frags there if you can help your locks back it up. Always can make for some interesting rounds, so see what they have in store here for this one. Trying to get a little bit of motion and towards the middle. Kermie making sure to stay elusive.
I thought their goal was to try and bait attention towards mid there for lag and then go towards cat, but they are going to commit mid. DJ staying around cat for now. Getting his Glock primed and ready. Probably going to die here in this engagement. He doesn't. Attracts attention. Again, I don't know how much this is going to yield because it is just Glocks with a Scout, and well, the answer is not much at all. Though DJ does win the fight on Bones. They could try to double back and get to A and plant here. It's just going to be too difficult. Yeah, they're already too committed. Kermie takes care of 4, and DJ will fall tonight.
That's what you're after right there. A single casualty. Kermie being able to build up some big-time frags here for himself. F5. Much needed start. After confirming the pistol. No bomb plant handed over is also quite a luxury. I'll get the gun rounds in order, but one that will include, because of that Scout purchase, another Scout. Back-to-back rounds here, and Op that he'll play up against here. Bones took a late peek. Constantly will not give him the vision. Doesn't even give him the duel. Won't stick around to take that fight.
Lots of time left on the clock here. Lag throwing the Molotov in for cat. F5 commanding some respect at the very least. All the way back to that beginning of the second half on Mirage. They started to win the duels and look a little better on their defensive side. Now they get to start on the CT side as well, so they continue where they left off. Lag. Oh, Bones could get this against Constantine. He will. Constantine doesn't even have a chance to fire a shot. Cameron's looking for the trade, but Bones is already out of here. And Lag are just going to have to settle for a 5v4.
After here, Cryptic. Going to equalize, though, and make some strides up catwalk with the bomb included. Comes Knight in the preparation here that he has to bring. So he's going to let them punch in the digits here. Cameron going to pluck out Cryptic, though. In the meantime, they still have to find out this lurk and find out the hard way. The instant trade from Cameron. Still have Knight, I think an unknown quantity. But this retake is still looking a little slow. They have kits on everyone, but they're going to have to hit the gas here soon. Cameron with a late play. It's going to be found out. Doesn't do much damage either, and that allows DJ to then strike just the up. Left for Bones. And one missed shot. It's going to let DJ reign supreme there. Lag with the rifles in play. Immediately get their win.
It's one of those situations where you see a man advantage, like, oh, they still have a chance in this retake, but you don't feel like they've got a chance because it's planted so effectively by Lag. They have the cat plant. They have both players playing on the cat side. And, I mean, each one watching a perfect spot. This right here, I'm surprised Cameron doesn't get more of a jump on Cameron on the other side. Just because he was watching a different angle, right? He had to flick around, whereas Cameron just had to go around and take that shot directly. But just doesn't react quickly enough. So, nice flick. And good round taken by a Lag. Because, you know, there was a lot of damage done previously. F5, ooh, Cryptic's tapping away one already as I'm talking, but... Okay, Kermie gets the response. What I was going to say was they don't have much money. What is happening here with the Deagles? I'm going to stop talking and watch these frags, and they eventually go the way of Lag in the end. Sandman sprays down a couple. Consti gets another, and it will only be Signal left.
That looked very, very interesting there for a split second. Quickly does get shut down at the very least, but nicely handled. Signal gonna add another kill to the tally before he will drop. That'll put Lag right back to a tied scoreline here for themselves. Good sign. They don't get it as clean as they would have liked. Those Deagles do a lot of damage here, and they still set themselves up fairly well for some damage to be done.
All right, F5 on their last legs in terms of economy here. Purchasing up a FAMAS and 3 M4s along with the APA. If they lose this round, it's going to be even more problematic moving forward in this half. They don't get the first. I thought Knight had it. He doesn't. Neither does Kermi. No trade. 5v3 in favor of Lag. They've got long control. They're leaning A pretty heavily. But they don't have to. They could fall back here, and I think that's why Cryptic's going around and having a look at what's happening on the flank to see if anyone's pushing, because if no one is, they could just ferry their forces away from long and go back to B. But with that frag being secured, now you're in a 5v2, you might as well just go in the direction you would like to. You don't really have to think about it as much.
I'm going to simplify the matters here, taking that effective long control. At this point, not in a position to contest here, really. Try and find some sort of angle to work off of. Would look to save this op here if you're Cameron, but running through lower tons is going to be blasted by Sandman. Wow. Complete sideline right there. Catches him by surprise, and even Sandman making the last pay as well. There's no one going to be able to escape this round here, not with what Sandman's bringing to the table.
What a shift from the opening 2 rounds. Lag are just going back to their usual ways here. Reminiscent of that dominance they had in the first half where they went up 11-1 against F5. F5 relegated back down to pistols here. 2 Deagles, a P250, a 5.7, and a USP. No armor for anyone. Like sending a player out. 3 flashes thrown for long, and no one's on the receiving end of it. So they have a pretty free path up long if they want to continue applying the pressure. I think they're going to realize what's happening here very shortly. Yeah, they spotted Kermi pushing. As soon as they see a second player, I imagine they're just going to take it long. They didn't, but they've got the read.
Not feeling too much contest, and this long control here have been their bread and butter. Being able to rip away this positioning on a consistent basis is something you're going to want to look towards here if you're on the side of F5 here soon. Capable of fighting for this control. Or are you going to find yourself having to concede it rather consistently? Sandman always good on the lurk here. Connected on a couple of kills before heading out. Eagle rattles off, but it's not clean. Okay, at least does find the frag in the end. It's a big sigh of relief. An AK can be saved for bones.
It's something. Bit of a prize, a silver lining. Assuming, say it can be saved, but Cameron's here. Oh man, he gets bones. No AK saved through. A signal almost dies to the bomb. Not that it would have mattered much, just a deagle in his hands. The big prize is gone. 4-2 for Lag. At least they'll be able to buy up again here on the F5 end.
Be able to bring something into the mix here. Get the guns back out either way. You're going to want to make sure that you avoid Lag stomping through dust too, like they did in that first half of Mirage. You at least got a pistol for yourself, but outside of that, Gonna need a little bit more. Gotta come in this gun round. And I think Consti already looking eager to take a fight. Open up this round. Decoy tossed in. A bit out of peak. And, oh, he gets what he's after. Big swing coming through. Getting Cameron on Cameron violence. In towards middle. Trying to take a duel there, but both players staying relatively healthy. Cameron's still sticking around in this mid fight. Trying to jump up on Xbox right now. Shying away from a duel.
Yeah, he has to be careful here. Oh,
wow.
He has the read, too. Okay. Cameron versus Cameron. We've seen it throughout the entirety of this one. And Cameron wins.
Great flash.
We knew that was going to happen. Yeah, nice flash indeed from Consti. As it is.
Why is Consti interrupting the Cameron fight?
For real, right? Cameron on the side of lag is the one winning that. 104 on the clock. It was an ambitious play, and I already said it. You kind of have to take those risks if you're F5. And that one just doesn't pan out again. Knight waiting towards long. He's taking all that space. But I don't think lag are headed here. They look like they want to go for a mid to B. The crisscross smokes are out, and they're not wasting any time.
Lurk smoke out towards B as well. You could potentially have a flank that comes through here, but Knight's not really bouncing on that flank here either, so bit of an oversight. Player spotted. DJ with an entry, and Cameron will back it up as well with the double. This one's done and dusted. They're going to finally show up on the flank here to deliver a frag. Again, round already confirmed. Bone's going to follow it up as well. Going to try and group up to make sure that they are safe to hold on to their weaponry and the long side. And DJ just making sure we don't give him anything else for free. But lag with just a great setup there. The protocols to get Cameron in that corner are nice. You have the op boosted up, so he's able to push through suicide a little bit protected by his opper. But then you also have Consti tossing in a beautiful flashbang. Oh, Cryptic baiting out his shadow right there. Right, forcing a fight right there, and Cryptic playing with his food. It's the same sort of, you know, awkward exchange that Opper's face right there, where you're constantly getting jiggled, and then that just, I think, slows your reaction time down. And then when you finally do get a convincing swing that you can actually try and win, just fall asleep at the wheel there. Cryptic able to do the damage there. He did connect. He did connect.
Yeah, I was gonna say if that's an AK, that's a kill. Like it was pretty sharp from Knight, but no, not an AK, and he loses the duel. I love the idea from Cryptic though. I think it's I agree with you. It messes with your timing and your reactions when you see someone doing that. And just obviously Counter-Strike 2 has been around long enough now that we know, or most players know, where the shadows are going to be seen, so they can play around with that and use it to their advantage, which is what Cryptic did there. Cameron facing off with Knight. Nice flashbang. Knight's going to get aggressive. He could win this fight. No. Cameron shuts him down, and the other Cameron goes out, and he'll lose the fight as well to Cameron with a K. 5-2. Excuse me, a 5v3 in favor of lag.
Also 5-2.
Yes, it is.
In the scoreline. You're right in so many ways here, but it's Bones with the only real tool here to make things work, and I think he's just been spotted on a small little sliver. If they head up catwalk, that is going to make the answer very simple.
Yeah, this is...
And that's exactly what they're going here. Consti only... Yeah, he was a caboose in that play. If you drop the bomb, maybe things could get interesting, but no. He gets past it. And the bomb site is fully open. Good diligence from lag to make sure that they don't really lose much here. Mag 7 gaming still since Sandman flying. Signal going to scoop an AK for his troubles. Make a little bit of cash flow with the Mag 7. But again, the hunt is still on because lag really don't have a lot to lose. And Cryptic looking sharp with the adjustment there. Looking for the last. Spots out the Opera on the B bomb site. They're going to execute B. With the bomb already planted. They want everything in this round, and Cryptic's going to take it all.
Jeez.
6 locked in for lag.
I mean, look, they can still buy up what they had in this round, but they really wanted to keep those guns up to keep the economy healthy, and it just doesn't happen. Cryptic is just ripping those guns right out of their hands. Oh yeah, look at this flick. Oh, I'm glad we're seeing it in slow motion because wow, it's just instantaneous. Cryptic not missing a beat at all, and like we talked about, you know, as a player, he made his way up as a rifler, not an IGL, not calling. And he's back to that role right now and looking quite strong in it. Cameron's got the read on Cameron and wins it. 5v4 for lag. It's unreasonable, Cole, how many times
hilarious.
they faced off against each other.
Why are they doing this to us? They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
How can we constantly fight up against each other here? Another head-to-head. I am starting to feel like, I mean, like you said, F5 are a team that is feeling they need to get a little bit of risky with some of their approaches. But in doing so, they are giving a lot of advantages over. And every push that you're going for is getting punished, is going to just tank the confidence. HE for the smoke. Bones not seeing a thing. Does land a little tag there, but triple swing afterwards is devastating. Bones going to find the kill eventually. Out towards B they go. Still a B defender ready. Flank coming through to cut things off. Oh, is this really what they're doing?
This actually might work out.
Back away? Why are they leaving B too, though? So, I don't know. Either way, it seems like Lag are going to walk into a pretty tough trap.
Thing is, the reason I think it's going to work out potentially is because the long player pushed up, and I think that was Knight. So
yeah,
long,
but they just cleared upper.
They did. So they're aware of the fact that they fell back. So you're right. Now there will be two players waiting towards A, and now Knight has to make his way back. So if they can take care of Signal and Bones before Knight is on the return, then it probably won't matter. Oh, nice Molotov. Oh, flashes,
Dude.
Molotov's utility, absolutely lethal. I mean,
5 seconds.
They got the lead. Yeah. Oh, wow, Bones could not get the job done, and Knight is the last one available. He's coming in late, and he'll go out into the night.
Hey. Yeah, tough stuff right there. The reload is hilarious. Poor Bones. Trying to get the bomb play denial. He had one chance. He had one bullet left in the chamber.
Yeah.
And Pogo stick does not work for him.
Yeah, stuck on
If
the
he
reload.
finds that kill, if that first jumping no-scope lands, it is round over. They get the job done, but unfortunately, without that, not going to be the case here. 3 scouts. Let's do it. Boost disassembled here. Consti will fall off of it, so scout number 1 not going to get any angle of approach. They crawl their way through lower tons. The barrel scene from Kermie. DJ trying to mess with them. Throw them off a little bit, but they're already scaled up towards middle, so this is going to be already a tricky round here for you. Oh, and Kermie heating the molly damage for free. Upper tons aggression working, but Sandman's just going to enter in, simplify the matter here. Flank could be big. Knight still on 1, but the Tech 9 pulled out. Another player on B still. Flash is looking a little bit awkward. Signal the only player in defense. It's a really long-range duel, though, and the 5.7, as good as it is, does have its limits.
Oh, man. Cameron's hunting. He wants more. Kermie gone. Do they have another nade here? They don't, so they can't break that smoke again, but I'm sure Cameron's going to be having a peek here in just a moment, and he will find a player shortly. Nice flashbang. Here's some typing. Probably just players chattering a little bit to each other, I'd imagine. Don't know if we're going to get a timeout called here. And we're not. They are just typing to each other. So 8-2 in favor of Lag. As we go into round number 11, it's looking pretty strong for them. 8 in a row as well.
Yeah, only getting the pistol and the follow-up here. The gun rounds have been fully in control. Money's been maxed out for a couple players at some points in this half as well. Bones, small visual on his target. HE to blow open the smoke, but it's so well avoided. Be execute off spawn here called. And it's an entry for Sandman. You have a wait on that smoke, but Cryptic then walks through it and finds the double up. As they're all focused on tunnels, Cryptic is able to slide through and twist the knife for a 9th.
Cryptic doing it again. Man, does he look good here up against F5. They want that berth into the lower bracket semi-final. They will face off against the winner of Aether versus Outfit 49. And just checking out that match again, it is right now 1-0 for Outfit 49, and they're heading into map number 2. Cameron will take care of Kermie, and then DJ finds Knight. No guns saved over. Backs against the wall here in this first half of action for F5. They'll still have almost 4K for everyone, so I imagine the buy-up's not going to be too miserable, but yeah, CT side can't really get as much as T side with that much money available. Just fantastic entry from Sandman, then Cryptic supports the perfect time to shut things down completely.
That's the cross here, at least, going out towards long. It's been a while since we've seen an early long play here, but it still works. Cryptic flying through in the opener. Get the first. He has a big angle advantage on Kermie as well. Tapping him away, not finishing the kill just yet. Oh, but he'll walk into the bullet. Cryptic shooting at the air. Kermie will walk into the fight, and Bones breaking open the smoke there, trying to create something. Cameron also spotted out on the other side of the map, and DJ able to track the spray. A is fully clear now that Cameron's known. How is Cameron and the other Cameron here going to meet up in some occasion here? They won't. DJ going to seal the deal. Lag another half with double digits. This time 10 in a row for them to take us into the second.
All right, we're back into it here, getting ready for the second half of action. 10-2 for Lag. As you mentioned, Cole, a second time in a row they've had double digits in the first half. First it was 11-1. This time, obviously, as you can see, 10-2. It's Dust 2. They're very good on both sides of the map, so it's a very tall hill for F5 to climb in a match they're already considered the underdog in.
Yeah, unfortunately the case here for them. They put up a solid fight there in the comeback effort last time, so maybe you're hoping that they can do the same here. Maybe they can get back on track here for themselves, but yeah, it's just going to be a really tough ask for them to do it and have to do it on the D side in particular. That's where the bigger difficulty is going to be for this squad. The struggles on this T side certainly felt for them already, but in the pistol, I mean, gotta mosey their way on up, free of charge. No resistance here on the A side, interestingly enough, so they'll take that control.
I'm surprised that Lag don't have a kit with that type of setup. Usually when you're on a retake for one of the bomb sites on any map, you have a kit available, but they don't. So that means they're going to have to activate a lot faster here. You have a smoke and a flash. There goes the smoke. Cameron has the flash. Signal trying to watch long. Sandman fighting his way forward. Oh, look at the frags rain on forward here for Lag. 3 in a row. Bones gets a response. They need way more than that. Can they find it? It doesn't look likely, but is there even time for the defusal here?
No.
There isn't. See? That's what I said. If you're going to do a retake setup, you've got to have the kit, because if they have the kit there, they win the round. Instead, F5 still managed to get a third for themselves.
The hilarious part is, you're exactly right. They would have had time with the kit, but everyone got their kills, right? So one person sacrifices would have been just fine. Ran that one down to the wire, and F5 going to be grateful that that wasn't in play now. Silver lining without a kit. Now you get yourself a really good force buy with 3 players saving armor. So that's a lovely start.
Holy.
Devastating headshot there to rattle off in the opening stage of this round. Consti gonna give him a quick 4v5.
That is phenomenal. Look at Sandman too. I feel like he wins this fight if Cameron pushes the smoke. Oh, he looks away. The timing. Oh my goodness. Consti though gets another, and Cryptic closes the gap over at the B site. Both of them combining to take care of business. Cameron with the dualies on tonight. Not often you see the dualies winning a fight like that against an armored opponent, but they do. Signal does manage to get the trade. However, he's got a lot of work ahead of him, with now Cryptic picking up an AK, Consti on the Galil, and okay, DJ. Maybe a little overambitious there with the scout, but Cryptic will take care of the last. An 11-3 lead now for Lag. What a response after losing pistol.
That is a big answer, big solution here. As the headshot rattles off, I thought that that was going to be the small timing that would have cost them everything. But they are A-okay. Managed to make do. We'll close things down in the end. Scout's going to be bought back in return here. Neither pistols converted for Lag. No big deal for them either. Right, Tech 9, bold play from Cryptic. Fall away. Slow down his approach there, trying to slow down the T side. And he is able to do so just enough that he can get back around the bend. Almost positioned outside of B tons, so as much as they try and threaten up Catwalk, they do a good job of it. It was never their intentions to finish the round in that department. Sandman going to try and jiggle out for information. He's got a smoke. He's got a full belt of utility already at his disposal. We'll see if he can get it off in time, or if the scout is able to find some impact here. There's the contact taken. No smoke tossed in, though. What?
Oh my God.
He never threw his util. DJ gonna get overrun. What? No kills out of the B defense. What happened there with Sandman? What on earth?
I don't know. This doesn't get his util.
He switched from the smoke to the molly. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he saw the scout. He didn't think it was a rush, but the whole point of that jiggle is to then hold on to your util for as long as possible. And then, you know, as soon as you take contact, smoke it. And with that little time left on the clock, I think it's a worthy drop of the resources to get that util down. So a little bit complicated there. Big mistake from Sandman. And lag. Gonna draw this one out a little bit.
I thought we were watching the twilight of the map come through, but no. Lag dropping the ball. Signal will go down to the bomb as well, but yeah, that was a prime opportunity for him to really take control. He just didn't get it thrown. Just it gets stuck on his hand. I don't know. Had some glue on that smoke or something. Couldn't get it thrown, and that's why we see F5 come through here and keep themselves alive. Force buy on for lag around the saved guns. Understandable. Oh, okay, DJ. Like, just keep hitting scout headshots. That's absurd. Kermie gonna be his next victim. 5v4 for lag in the first 10 seconds. Signal's trying to send it immediately. This is actually, I don't know if this is a great play. We'll see if it works out for them. Signal gonna fall to Cryptic's Deagle. They keep trying to fight forward, and the bullets keep raining back in their direction. Consti the headshot. Knight gets the trade back. Still a 3v2 in favor of lag, but F5, their positioning is known. The pathing has been made towards the A site, and it will be their final destination.
Got double up on the catwalk here. I'm yet to go down. Looking for angles of approach there, GJ. Taking some shots, missing though. Eventually will connect onto a body shot. But Knight looking to clean things up, and DJ gets double swung. Survive the scare there of the force buy. Put that to rest. Good discipline coming through there in the late round, but I can't quite capitalize in this moment. Lovely shot from Cryptic to back it up, put it into the 4v3. Got the 4v2 at one point, but Knight is able to pull things together.
Yeah.
A little bit of hope for F5.
A little bit, but I think the biggest problem right now is they're always getting that hope off pistol round victories and conversions in the early parts of halves, but as soon as there's any type of adversity they face, they don't have much left beyond that. So let's see if that changes here in this second half of Dust 2. Lag are going to have 3 Deagles, the P250, and a USP. Not too bad, considering this is just a straight eco. Consti gets the shot. Knight gone. They've been unable to rebuff these Deagles consistently for F5, and as a result, even if they win the round, I guess what the point I was trying to get to is their buy-up's not going to be that great if they aren't clean about this. And Bones will get DJ. See if it continues. Yes, it does. They should be okay now on their approach, and they absolutely are. So it will be a clean round. No? Oh my god! Sandman! I thought he was dead to rights. He gets a headshot, and then Cryptic finds the follow-up, picks up an AK!
Way.
There's no way this is falling apart, Cole! It was F5's every step of the way. 1v1. Kermie gets Cryptic, and then Sandman the headshot! What a spray down from him. 3K on the round. Lag get a 12th. I feel like 9 times out of 10, maybe even higher than that, you win that round once you get control to the point that they did.
I mean, I want to give a little credit to some creativity right there.
Yeah.
Cryptic or Sandman.
Sandman.
There was someone on the site with him. I don't know who it was. It was a really cool idea, but Sandman was on the back of double, and then I don't know who it was, but he jumps off of double, who was right next to him. And it completely threw them for a loop. They had no idea Sandman was already on the scene. And so he's able to capitalize. Very smart on the fly, thinking to bait and switch that play. And that gets him onto 12.
Wow.
In a situation like this, you just can't really afford for rounds like that to take place. And Sandman going to continue to make him pay. Not only do they hear the op, but they get a kill on a Kermie as well. Could go very well from bad to worse.
Sandman making up for that.
Careful with the spam.
Yeah, absolutely. The reloads. But yeah, Sandman making up for that missed smoke. I think in that previous round there really well. And even here with that instant headshot and dismissal of Kermie. Consti's going to be on the other side with the AWP. 51 seconds remain. He'll be tested. And he will have the answer. He's also got support from Cryptic, who tosses the nade in. I mean, there's 0 ground gain by F5 there, Cole.
take any approach here. 5v3. Running on towards mid to B. Sandman elevated and shown. Great flashbang to get him in. Oh, and a double kill. Not over till it's over. But it's Bones left into a sandwich. Trying to find a timing. He's able to collect another frag. Cutting off rotates before they can even get into conversation. He's finished. Though Consti will put him to rest. And a retake here in a 2v2. F5 managing to win the unlikeliest of rounds. Can they do it again? Cameron clears his right side.
Are you kidding me?
Doesn't realize that there's more around the corner. Consti spam down low. He's backing away.
Are you kidding me?
Kit. An F5 and a 5v3 with an op and 2 pistols there. Pull things back from the brink.
You gotta be joking me. Both teams pulling off these miracle rounds. Lag lose both bodies on the B side, which feels like a vulnerability at this point. And F5 may try to exploit that again. So if you're Lag, maybe you send 3 players there early on to try and rebuff a B hit. But look at this, like Sandman's great, Consti is as well. They get everything they need, and then they just can't find those 2 important ones. Tech9's closed the gap very nicely, and then Bones found a critical one over on Cryptic as he's trying to get out of CT. So I think without that, F5 still wouldn't have won the round, but because they get it, we're on to 6. Hope still alive, but they need 6 in a row just to get to overtime. And you see that Lag don't want to back down. They want to continue to try and close this one out. They're buying up, forcing up even, but it's still a decent one with an op and a 1S, a scout, and a FAMAS.
Showing up with some resiliency. But again, gotta be no mistakes. Counter-Strike from this point forward.
That's a mistake.
Bit of a brutal timing on that one. Yeah. Just a small detail there, right? Just a molly missed. We haven't lost any bodies yet. Oh.
Yeah.
There goes one. Straight to the wall there. Consti with a lovely headshot, but there's a vulnerability on this A side now. Understaffed on A is Cameron. Really difficult position here as they try to rotate in, but with a buy like this and with a lead like this here, if you're Lag, try and start to clear things out, but do you want to fully commit to this? I don't think so anymore. Knight just answered that for you. 2 kills, 1 on the entry. Finds the follow-up. That should be that.
Probably. Nice flashbang. Knight. Cryptic's going to challenge. I feel like he wants to. There it is. Won't mean anything because they're already fading away, and I think this is absolutely the correct call. You forced up into this round. You didn't have as much firepower going into it as you're going to walk out of it with the AK and the M4, along with the op being here. And they can certainly justify a force, but I think Consti can even drop for one of DJ or Cameron. Yes, he can. So they'll be fine. Smart decision making for Lag. They use the lead, that cushion they have, to make a good decision. And we head into round 20.
Good luck coming through. F5 to stick around here for a little while longer. Sad walking away with some decent weaponry here for the CG set is quite nice. They chase this one up middle. Cryptic getting aggressive here, wanting to end things now, and he's gonna find the opening pick. Overlooked right there on the angle. Signal gonna go down first.
Right. Oh, what?
Oh, trade available. Well, at least he takes the frag there. DJ, he found another one with that headshot. The double cat setup working wonders.
Look at Cameron.
Gonna get flanked by Cameron here in a moment's notice, and the P250 will shut things down. Knight spotted at the beginning of this round here with the fight to Cryptic, and now confirmed location in T-spawn. Up on the line here, a walk straight into the duel. And it's going to be back-to-back 13-7s.
Wow.
Lag with dominant first halves, a little bit, I would say, clumsy in the second, but it's still the job well done there, and it's still a very dominant scoreline for them to move forward. They do eliminate F5 here.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the way Lag kind of lost control of things briefly on both maps, it's just the beginning of the half. They lose the pistol. They get a little eager forcing up, trying to end it quickly. It doesn't happen, so they have to reset. They go for ecos that do find success, so F5, even when they're finding the round victories, it's not comfortable. And once the guns come out for that second layer of attacks, then Lag are able to close it out. So yeah, I mean, the expected result coming through here as Lag get the 2-0, and as you mentioned, they will advance into the final 4 here of this cup.
A really good sign for them here to stake their claim and try and get back to that level of dominance that we kind of expect from a team like this, that we've been seeing in recent history as well for the squad. I mean, you know, they've been rocking with some new pieces here that they're still trying to get used to, but Cryptic in this roster has looked phenomenal and pretty exciting here for the exchange that they make. And obviously that means, again, you know, a good opportunity to try and get the job done and win this thing through the lower bracket. But still a run for them to go as we take a look at some of the results. Lag, our first victors. I believe that Aether and Phoenix game still going on.
Yes, it is. It's pretty one-sided on the map number 2. It's 10-2 in favor of Aether, who are trying to push to map 3, which kind of felt like the expected result on that one. But, you know, either way, I think Lag will have a favorable engagement, whichever team they end up facing off against. It will be a little bit tougher, and, you know, you've got one of an ex-Lag member, I believe, in Brett, will be joining up with them if Aether, or excuse me, facing off against them if Aether end up winning against Outfit 49. And just looking at the upper bracket here, we still got Sportsbet Expert up against Chicken Coop coming up, and I think that's going to be a pretty strong matchup. That might be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see on the timing there. It is indeed tomorrow, and it may be the match that we'll be bringing to you guys here.
It could be a good one there, that's for sure. Excited to see where these squads try and show up and show out there. And of course, for Sportsbet Expert, I mean, again, we've been talking a lot about Lag. They're still the team that sent them down and towards this lower bracket. They're still a team that can provide a lot of impact and a pretty exciting one, of course. So looking forward to seeing more of what they're capable of bringing to the table as well.
All right. Well, all that being said, folks, we are done for tonight here with ESL Challenger League Season 51 NA Cup number 2. But we'll be back tomorrow, as mentioned, with another great one. Believe it's going to be SBE up against Chicken Coop Esports. For now, we are signing off and wish you a great night.
On their way through there, Consti just
continue. Single turn. Cryptic the instant headshot. There's Consti striking. I mean, that's just a bit careless.
And he's caught by Sandman instantly. Now they're going to queue up for a aggression signal. It's going to clear it, but not so effective. And Cameron is going to close out this.
I was hoping to get cut-offs, but that's might not even happen at all. Either way, let's see if they can just win the fight on B. And yeah!
Did well so far, it seems. Looking to do so in a 2-0. A great flash play towards the long side. We get another CT pistol for the troubles. So far, so good as it continues. They have to hit the gas here soon. Cameron with the late play. It's going to be found out. Doesn't do much damage either, and that allows DJ to then strike just the Bones not seeing a thing. Does land a little tag there, but triple swing afterwards is devastating. Bones going to find the Cryptic, and now confirmed location in T-spawn. Up on the line here, a walk straight into the duel. It's going to